Hello everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. And what we are going to cover today is on 5 fingers, what all feature this is providing to a doctor. So if I'm a doctor, what all features I'm getting and what all things I can do on this platform. So what you're seeing here is the on 5 fingers site. So I'm going to log in on the site. So we need to make sure that we as a doctor log in as a medical practitioner. So choose this medical practitioner and practitioner ID and hit login. So what we are seeing here is the appointment calendar. It is loading as a default page for us. And on the left hand side we can see the menus. So what I'll see in the menu is the appointment, which we are seeing right now, and my patient. That's where we can see what all patients I have who have already approved me as a doctor. And when we are saying approved me, it's because this platform is giving a complete data privacy. That means unless if a patient is approving me as a doctor to see their record, I cannot see their records because it's a completely privacy. And then edit profile, that's where I can go and maintain my own profile. Explore medical, this is something upcoming feature. Right now it's not available. As we can see, we are operating on the beta version. Find member is something where I can go and find the member. If member, that means if any new patient is coming up to me, I can go and find them. And the refer the case, that means if I, a doctor, wanted to refer that case to some other doctor who may be specialized in some other area. And this is again is an upcoming feature. It's not available in the beta version. So what we are seeing in the explore medical and the refer case is right now unavailable. Rest all features are available. So we'll go through one by one. So let's start with the appointment. On the appointment, what we see here is the calendar. It's a typical calendar view, and why it is needed because I, as a doctor, wanted to manage my day to make sure that I entertain or I address each patient. So what we are seeing here is the calendar view, and in order to book the appointment or book the slot, it's easy. We just need to pick a particular slot. So if I'm choosing on March 20 and on, let's say, 10, and what I need to do is default it is giving me 30 minutes time slot, but I can change this to make it either 15 minutes or 45 minutes depending on my need, and then I can put that to meet with let's say my patient name is Amitabh, and then put some detail, due to fever or whatever complaint they have, or due to health checkup. Okay, and we just need to save this. So it will refresh the page, and if you can see, it's saved, and it's easy for me to go and update. So instead of 45 minutes, now I just wanted to have it 15 minutes, and I just hit save. So it'll save only for 15 minutes. Let's say if I wanted to move this appointment for any reason, if patient is not coming up or if I am not available, I can simply drag this from one slot to another, and it's that easy. Or if I wanted to move some other day, I can move. It's very easy for me to move that thing. And this feature is giving us opportunity to go and manage my day, so I know when I'll be available to take new patient or when I'll be seeing what patient. So this is only helping us to manage our OPDs or day-to-day life. Now if I'm going in the my patient, I can see right now it's a 2 test or temp users. One is female 44, one is male 43, their mobile numbers. So this is why, because these two, they've approved me to see as a doctor. So if I click on this test user, what I'm seeing is system will bring me on their own profile. So right now I am on that test user, and what I'm seeing here is the feed data view, feed your medical record, and here I can see the each body organ parts. So I'll go through with some of them to share the template what we have. But if I am not looking any specific liver or bone or lungs related, I as a doctor can simply go in the basic health. On the basic health, what we are seeing here is we have examination records, we have a basic health info, we have a clinical record where I as a doctor can go and feed data as a OPD if that patient is visiting me. I can see the allergy info, I can see the blood sugar info, and I can see the medication data, like what all medications that particular patient is taking it. And this is a kind of standard template. Of course, the menu item is different if I go to a particular specific body organ, not in the basic health data. So if I wanted to see all medications, I can simply click on the medication tab, and I can see that these all medicines that particular patient was taking, what was the duration, what was the dose, and why that patient was taking, whether because the blood pressure, dental, stomach, allergy, heart, vitamin, liver, and why I'm seeing all here because I'm in the basic health. If I go a particular organ section, for example liver, I will be seeing only liver details. I will not see any other. If I go in the lungs, I will be seeing only lungs. I will run through with those. If I go in the medical test record, I can see what all tests they have done in past, when they have done, why they have done, and what type of test. Of course, it's either bacterial test or blood test, and for what department or for what body part they have done that. I can click on their test detail and see that what all informations they have sharing or they have punched in the database. And if I click on the report, it'll open the PDF for that particular scan. So this is where I can see all the tests they have done. This is where I can see all the medications they have taken or they are taking it. In the diabetes info, I can see their fasting level and after meal sugar. In the allergy, I can see what all allergy they have and their sensitivity for each. And in the basic info, I can see their normal details, whether they are the blood donor or not. Now, this is a typical view for the feed data. But if I wanted to go in a specific section, for example, herd, I can see this is a template like examination record, summary data, measurable factor, emergency and surgery data is currently unavailable in the beta version, and in the medication section where, so this is pretty much same what we have seen there. The only difference is measurable factor and the summary data. Summary data is for the patient to help them to tell whether you should be going and sharing this information with the doctor or not. So this is where on Five Finger has put a bunch of predefined artificial intelligence which will help to determine that patient should go and share their observations or feelings with the doctor or not. And this is coming directly from the measurable factor. So if I'm in the herd, if I go in the measurable factor, there are certain predefined questions, and this is where patient has provided their own observations or feelings. Based on this, it is recommending in the summary, and because of its a herd, it is having the cholesterol, triglyceride, good cholesterol and bad cholesterol graph. And this is where they are using their artificial intelligence to predict whether this condition is they wanted to share with the doctor, or this is something alarming they should go and immediately share, or they just need to take care, or their heart is healthy. This is pretty much standard template. If I go in the lungs, I can get it pretty much same, but of course the measurable factor will be having a different questions pertaining to their lungs. If we go to the dashboard, that's a pretty much um, high level summary. So we can see the patient name here, and this is where we see it's the female, their height, their weight, and they are the eye donor. That's the reason this is black. They don't donate blood, otherwise this will be red. And if they donate the organ, then this cup will be golden. We can see this. This is also dynamic. So if their hemoglobin level is perfectly fine, it will be full green. If any level is up and down, it will show based on that. Their blood group is B positive. They are having active 2 medication which they are taking. Their surgery, their good and bad cholesterol, their key info like blood pressure, smoking pattern, alcohol and tobacco, what are the allergies, how many allergies they have, because of it's a female, so how many pregnancy, using devices, meaning if they are using any pacemaker or hearing aid or any kind of device, and in the bone injury. And we can see their diabetes rating, platelet graphs, hemoglobin, and in the bottom section we can see their emergency contact as well. So if I am a doctor, this single page will give me a good information for me to understand their medical condition. And this is purely depending on what patient has opted to see on their dashboard. This is very dynamic. They can go and change what they want to see, which graph to appear here or which graph to appear here. So I as a doctor can see this graphs differently if I am moving from one patient to another patient. So this dashboard is nothing but giving me a high level information that how my patient is. And if we see these things, these are coming based out of the measurable factor. Like if we see all green, that means their feedback or their feelings with respect to that particular organ is good. And if I see any informative sign, that means something I need to go and check. Okay, so what I can see here, if I'm doing the OPD using on 5 fingers, that is also very much feasible. So I need to go in the basic health and go in the clinical OPD. Here I can see their OPD history, and this is my own name as a test doctor. This is different doctor, and again this, and I can see for what all reason they are coming up. So I can see a pattern also that they are complaining more about pain or more about fever or more about particular disease. And what I can do is I can go and see the stomach pain, the previous one. It's nothing much information here, so I can cancel. If I wanted to see the headache, I'm just trying to see if we have updated any data here. Okay, so it's all temporary thing. I can put the reason, I can put the provision, diagnosis after investigation. I can provide the medication or any lab test or the follow-up required. If I want to add new, I can click here add, and it will give me the blank template, and I can simply populate it. If they are revisiting for the same, I can simply open that particular, and I can say edit, and then I can add more record here. If I see here 25th, is there any more record? Okay, so this is more record. That's where these two medications prescribed. This was the 812. This was the 2512, so I can see the follow-ups for that. So this is where I can maintain the OPD thing, and I can also share online anywhere, and they can also see online anywhere. Alright, so I'm going back to my own home page, and this is where I went there. What you're seeing in the edit profile, so let's see the edit profile. Edit profile is something where I go and define if I'm associated with any facility, any nursing home, any hospital, any clinic. I need to give that detail here. I just put the test because of I am not having any detail here, and what all facilities available in that particular premises, and what are my specialty and my registration number. This is important for me as a doctor to share my registration number to keep my profile active. Otherwise, if I'm not sharing my registration number, my profile will be deactivated. What we are seeing here is the fees, that is the online charges. If I'm doing the online consultancy, then this is my fees in terms of points, and how I'm calculating point is 1 rupees is 10 points. That means for a testing purpose this is nothing but 5 rupees. And this checkbox, if I'm doing the online consulting, then I need to make sure I put this checked. Otherwise, when patients are searching doctors, my name will not be appearing there. Why this is needed? Because let's say if I'm a doctor and I'm doing online consulting and I'm going outside of my clinic or city or country for any reason, and during that time I know I won't be available to accept any online consultancy messages, then during that time what I'll do, I'll simply come in the edit profile, uncheck it and save it, and till the time I'm coming back I will not tick mark, so that during that time no patient can send me any message online. Alright, how they will be sending messages and how I'll be knowing it, I will be getting notified here, an envelope icon if I get any new email. So if I go in the inbox, I can see that these test users, they've sent me messages on these dates, and what was the subject, like I'm having constipation, I'm having pain, a cough and cold with the mild, and we can see the message status like declined by either me or maybe by patient, or it's still open. So what we can see here, let's open the declined one, just click on this. So what we can see is they notified on 18th they have a problem, and I declined by saying it's not my area of specialization. So that may be the case that somebody by mistake sent that message to me, meaning if I'm a heart specialist and if they are sending message from the other area which I cannot address, then as a doctor what I'll do, I will simply go and decline that message, and that message will be closed. They cannot send further message against that. What we are seeing here is a patient name, and it's a hypercare. If I click on that, it will bring me to the same profile which we have just seen. So it's easy. If I'm getting any message complaining about any particular patient, I can simply click on this link to see and what kind of medications they have already taken. If I need to prescribe anything, I can do that. If I want to see their past lab data, I can see that too. Point received is how much point they're paying for this, and this is nothing but coming from the my profile. So I can go and change. I can make it 500, I can make it 50, depending on my own fee structure. And how this point will come into my account, which is my point, if I'm getting any message and if I am replying that message at that point of time, this point which I have defined in my own uh, profile, for example the latest one, if you can see right now it's a 50, it will be automatically coming into my account, and I can see this particular message ID in my point. So if we go and see in the my point, I can see that how many points I've earned against which message number. So this is nothing but a kind of audit um, or a detail like how much I have added, when I added, and what is my closing balance. So this symbol is nothing but showing this is the latest record. That means this is my latest closing balance. Okay, so I can simply go in the inbox. I can choose any message. I think internet is getting a little slower, so let them give some time. Okay, and if I open any, let's say this message, and if I wanted to respond, I simply reply and type here my response, and I hit send, and it will say that confirm. That means I make sure that everything is done, and I send that message, and this will be sending a message, and we can see here my response is showing as the latest responded by me. If that patient is responding, again it will come with the red color, and I can see that what patient is responding against this. If I want to close this message, I can close this message, and it is saying that type the closing comments. I cannot close unless I type it here, so I can say that now you are feeling better, closing this message, and I can say close message, and it'll say please confirm to close message. Okay, the message has been closed, and I can see this is closed by me, and this was my last closing message. Okay, so if I go and see this um, particular message, this will be showing as closed. So this is how I as a doctor can do online consulting, by seeing messages here, responding and earning the points, and how this point will get converted into rupees. On Five Fingers they have certain threshold limit. If I hit that limit to that my point, they will transfer that particular amount. So if I see and convert this, it is 255 rupees. So if they are transferring into my account, it is going to be 255 rupees. So as soon as I hit that threshold, maybe in a day, maybe in a week, maybe in a month, they will transfer it accordingly into my account. All right, so this is all a doctor can do, doing online consulting, seeing patient records, managing their own profile, own OPD details, and help community to be healthy. So let us know how did you like this, and if we need to share more detail, we will be happy to share more detail for any particular section, like how to do, and we are always there to help you to share how to operate. We are looking forward for your feedback so that we can constantly improving this platform to make it as effective as possible. Thank you so much.